Yes, people. Welcome to Saeed TV and welcome back to another video. The collaborations keep on getting better, man. And we have here a special guest. First time I think we've collabed. Eunice. Big up to you, Eunice, for coming on. And I appreciate you taking your time out to come on the channel, man.
Hey, no problem, man. Yeah, first time. First time. Obviously, I see everything that you do with Matisse. We talk all the time, and I'm just like, yeah, this would be
Yeah.
sick. So glad to be on, man. Thank you for bringing me on. Much appreciated.
Nah, appreciate it, man. Like I said, you're smashing it, man. You're one of the YouTube goats, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I used to watch you before I started like YouTube and whatnot. I used to watch you and your
No
your
way.
stuff and that. Yeah, man. So big up to you, man. Like, you know
Thank you,
what I
man.
mean? I
Appreciate
see
it.
you doing your stuff now. How long have you doing now? Football content for now?
Football content, aside from like this channel, like my channel now,
Mhm.
10 years.
Wow, that's what I mean,
Bang
man.
on 10. Yeah, AVB getting sacked was the time that I started
Yeah,
on YouTube. Yeah.
100%, man. Nah, big up to you, man. You've come a long way, and you know, what I mean, 100K and that. Like, I mean, that's my next target. So big up to you, man.
Thank you,
And
man. You'll get there 100%. 100%,
no,
man.
100%, man. Big up to everybody who's watching right now. Smash a like on the video if you're watching right now, and make sure you subscribe to Eunice Talks Football. The link is in the title. You know what? We'll start on the Chelsea fixtures. Because obviously you're the guest right here. I'm gonna pull it up here on the screen.
Yep.
For you to analyze. Obviously, you will have seen it first glance, but let me just try and make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. Oh, I think that's getting a bit smaller. Um, can you see it from there? Can you see anything or?
I can do. Yeah, I can.
Okay, cool.
Personally, I'm
Yeah,
cool with
so
that. Yeah.
yeah, cool. So you got Everton, Tottenham, Leeds, Leicester, and Southampton. It's
Yeah.
a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag on that one.
It is. I feel like throughout each month, normally what happens with Chelsea, yeah, we seem to have this theme where it's
Yeah.
normally quite straightforward. It gets to December and then
Mm,
something mad happens. We got to play all the big teams at once, or
mm,
January, and then we normally go on a downhill, trend. But
mm,
this is really evenly spread out. And I know the second part of the season we've got to play all the big teams away and not home,
mm,
but it's evenly spread out. I couldn't ask for a better fixture list, if I'm honest. I think this is
mm,
manageable.
mm. 100%. I think you know what? I think it is manageable, especially obviously with the situation right now. With you looking to buy players, Everton away. Last season you lost there. You know what I mean? It's
We lost
crazy. Last
Lampard,
season,
didn't
yeah.
it? Yeah,
Lampard coming back. You know what I mean? He would love to get another one on you. The way he kind of left as well. Obviously, you know about Tottenham as always. That'll be a first kind of derby under your
yeah,
belt. Then you got Leeds away, who you did last season, but they weren't really kind of doing anything. Leicester, yeah, it's a mixed bag. But you would hope Tuchel would kind of think, you know what, we can tackle that. We can come in with a bit of vengeance. Should you get transfers? That's the key element, though.
yeah, man. I mean, those first few fixtures are not as easy as it probably looks. As you said, Everton, Lampard, they've already done us, and they were in relegation battle.
Mm,
So there's that. If we don't end up signing anyone, is it going to repeat? No, we're going to face a different Tottenham. Tottenham are moving crazy this transfer market. They're getting all
yeah,
sorts of
man,
players in, and
bro.
it's looking it's looking mad. Conte's getting backed,
Mm,
so that's going to be another thing, and they're coming to the bridge. So
mm,
we have to get a result because if we were to lose against Spurs, Antonio
mm,
Conte, second day of the season,
mm,
that's not good, man. We need to
mm.
sign, and we're quiet, and I don't like how quiet it is at the moment.
No, 100%, especially when Tottenham are kind of I see it as a bit of a rivalry between you guys. You don't really like each other
Yeah.
off the pitch, and then it's Conte's the added factor as well with Conte. It's one of the situations where if he comes in and basically says, you guys didn't back me or you guys didn't really treat me right towards the end of his kind of tenure or whatnot, he can be like, you know what, I'm coming in and show you the reason why you should have kept hold of me. But at the end of the day, Tottenham are doing their thing, man. And big up to Texas Blue. He goes, what? Must be my birthday because my two favorite YouTubers are finally doing a stream together. Big up to you, man. Love for having you on, man. Big up to you. But I just feel like for me, with Chelsea, it's a sticky situation right now because
Yeah.
I feel like the rebuild of Chelsea isn't getting talked about because you're losing a lot of players. Your striker who we thought it was going to be the dream transfer. It was the kind of return. Is a boyhood fan. He's been here since he was a kid, and then all of a sudden, Werner's not the same player. You know what I mean? Ziyech, you haven't replaced. That kind of rebuild that we thought, you know what, that summer, was it 2019? You bought all them players?
Yeah,
Ziyech,
yeah.
Werner. We thought, wow, Chelsea,
2020.
I mean, this, yeah, 2020, yeah. With Thiago Silva, I thought Chelsea were looking real serious. What has gone wrong, in your opinion? Like, what has gone wrong?
I mean, first and foremost, yeah, what hasn't helped is the whole Lukaku situation.
Yeah,
That's kind of it's set the direction of the club into something else. We had loads of problems last year in terms of the sanctions and you know games getting postponed for us, none. Injuries, James Chilwell. We had a
yeah,
complete bag of things that went wrong. And then the Lukaku thing happened, and we're just like, I can't believe this. Now, some of the other players that you've mentioned, yeah, they're all inconsistent, and that's been a factor across. I think with the way that they were brought in technically for Lampard, he didn't look like he knew what to do with them. If we're being
yeah.
real, because
We'll give you that one. Yeah.
you guys and Ollie, you kind of relate.
Yeah. We relate definitely.
So Tuchel come in, we win a Champions League. It looks like, okay, maybe we've got something going on. But again, these players, inconsistent. We need players that are going to come in and be consistent, week in, week out. We thought Lukaku coming in would be the final piece of the puzzle, and he's just brought nothing but even more instability. That interview, 100 million, and now this. Now you're seeing what's happening now. I'm glad, he's on the way out, but even going, we're getting screwed because all the focus is on this sale and trying to make it happen because it's so difficult. We're not focusing on who we can go and get and replace Rudiger with, or replace Christensen, or get another left wing back, or we're not doing anything. So
there's a kind of there's an emphasis on trying to get this deal sorted out of the line when it should have been a kind of a quiet exit, when it can't be now because the whole money situation. I mean, today I'm hearing 7 million loan has been rejected, but originally yesterday it was 5 million loan. I think for me that's taking a piss. But are they playing on the fact that Lukaku wants to leave? Chelsea fans don't really kind of like Lukaku anymore. The club want to get rid of him. They're basically taking advantage, aren't they? Of the situation.
They are, and they know that they've got time on their hands, and they know that we don't. Inter Milan, if they don't get Lukaku, cool, they're getting Dybala instead. Not a problem. Or they're probably going to get Dybala anyway, and then just try and get a loan on Lukaku. So they're cool, and they know the situation we're in, and the fact that we spent that much money. They know that we have to get rid of him because he wants to go. He's pushing for it. We now don't want him in the team anymore. It's all the ball in Inter's court, really, isn't it? And for us. Yeah, they're taking the mick with that. But you know what? I rate the hustle. Inter Milan have pulled off a blinder because they've sold him for that much, and now they're getting him back on a peanuts loan fee, which I hope has an obligation to buy. And yeah, man, we're in the mud. We've got finessed on another level. I've not seen anyone scammed like us.
And you know what it is as well? It just depends on as well the situation of how much Chelsea kind of offered for Lukaku. Was it in installments? If they say, right, well, you can sack the installments now. If that situation comes about, it's so bad. And then you've got a new owner who doesn't know the ins and outs of what actually really happened. And he has to basically play catch up. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because Abramovich was the one that kind of vetoed the deal, and he's the one that pays the money. So it's very, very sticky for me, that situation. But right now, what would you kind of say? Would you kind of appease you? Get him, you just want him out, or do you kind of like no, we don't want to we want our money back, at least a bit of our money.
Nah, priority number one is get him out immediately. Like it's untenable. He can't stay at all. Even if say a deal somehow, I think it will happen. But say if it didn't happen, bruv, stay at home. Don't come to training. Like don't come anywhere near us again. Like it's got to that point. So I'm hoping we try and get as much money back. Obviously, Chelsea haven't paid them the full fee yet, so that is something to bear in mind. We've not paid them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yet.
So that's what kind of like Chelsea are maybe like to get this done quickly. They feel like, you know what, we haven't really paid. We're not really losing much. You know what? Let's take the 10 million loan or whatever it comes down to, and then later on we can think about our money. You know, when you know you're gonna get money later on down the line, it makes you feel a little bit better because then you know later on I'm getting that money. So right now I'm good. It's like the when Man United tried to offer me my money back for the season ticket. They said to me, "Do you want your money back now?" I said, "Listen, I'm chilling at home. I don't need your money now."
When did they do that?
They did that in the lockdown. So basically, the lockdown time.
Oh, fair.
They said to me, "Do you want your money back?" I think it was about £300. I said, "Nah, I don't want it now." Then they said to me, "All right, we can put it in your credit, and then your season ticket later on becomes, I think it's gonna be like 350 quid." And I was like, "Yo, listen, I'm on that one."
What is-
You know what I mean? So Chelsea can just enjoy that, and then later on they have a cash injection. It may be a season down the line or whatever, and then they got
Yeah.
money, and then it's like, whoa, we can buy a striker, we can do this. So it is one of them situations where I think Chelsea are still in the driving seat. Mo Mukhtar says, "Here, big up to you, bro." He goes, "Hey guys, hope you're well. What's the scariest fixture about both of you? Only pick one." I think it's Liverpool because if they come in and we're not ready and we haven't got the signings yet, and we'll discuss about that. I think for me, Liverpool. What are you thinking?
Immediately that Tottenham game, second game of the season for sure.
Yeah.
But in context of the whole league, Man City right now, I don't want to play them. they're moving mad. I don't want to play them.
They're moving mad, and what is it at Stamford Bridge, that one, or is it the just both in terms of both fixtures?
Oh yeah, no, both for the City, just both.
Yeah,
but for Tottenham home, yeah,
Tottenham home one. I think for me, like I said to you, it's just our clubs for some reason. Chelsea. I always see a club that's always proactive. I always think that summer of 2020 for me, the biggest summer you ever had, in my opinion, was that summer 2014 when you bought Cesc Fabregas and Diego Costa and Courtois. That was incredible. Before the season started,
that was
I was like, "You're winning the league." Yeah. And what happened this season? You won the league.
Yeah. We use that example all the time. Like, when you do business done early and they're all there for first day of pre-season, perfect. You're going to start the season and they're all fully acclimatized, settled, and ready. What are we doing? Like, you know what's mad? On my channel, I've been telling people, relax, don't worry.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay. After the last couple of days, I'm now starting a shift because I'm looking at Koundé and Dembele, for example, and I still think they're going to come. But now Koundé, there's a threat because Barca apparently are getting some mad cash injection. And Dembele, I think, is going to happen anyway, but we need more. And now I'm seeing Cucurella, Basuma, Jesus, probably to Arsenal. I'm like, we're going to have no one left.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Same for you guys. But
same for us. I feel like this transfer window is very, very strange. I think this is the only transfer window where I've seen every single team scavenging for the same players. It's true, isn't it, though? I would want Tielemans. I would want Tielemans. You would want Basuma. I would want Basuma. Yeah. I'd probably take Jesus. You'd probably take Jesus. Arsenal would. Every single team, even De Jong. I know you've got a lot of midfielders in your team and, whatnot, but midfield, if Jorginho left, you would need to create a spark in there, and that would be De Jong.
We need a DM anyway. Like, we need a DM. So, yeah, it's mad.
That's crazy. You know what? It's just mad. And I feel like when you touched on the Barcelona situation, I find it really, really dodgy. They're complaining about FFP when all of a sudden they've got a cash injection and mysteriously someone's funding them. And I'm like, hold on a minute, that don't make sense.
No, do you know what's happening?
What?
Do you know what's happening? So with Barca, so the vote is going to be put through the General Assembly today because the fans are the members, right? So they are selling assets of the club, like a percentage of their TV, for example. Barca TV is being sold. Merchandise, bit of that's being sold. Like parts of Barca are being sold, and that cash is going to be used, and they're going to get quite a bit of money. I think like 700 or 800 million. So if that goes through and it's approved, they've got money.
You know what? I spoke to some Spanish fan who's got a channel, right? It's called Blagra Planet, and he said to me, "There's going to be a period of 25 days until the end of the season until their books have been balanced and they're out of the red zone." But it seems to me now this is almost like it sped the process, and it's almost as if now, if this happens right now, this is where Barcelona could be stronger more than ever, and it's a detriment to us because Barcelona then now don't really have to sell De Jong. De Jong doesn't want to go anywhere at this minute because there isn't a bid from Man United concrete, and also Barcelona haven't forced him out yet. So, and then obviously Dembele, if he sees that cash injection and he thinks, you know what, I might stay. And the same with Koundé. Koundé will probably go to Barcelona if they want him, because Chelsea just don't know what's going to happen in terms of back three, and if Tuchel likes you. I mean, you've lost Christensen, you've lost Rudiger, which has been the biggest blow for you. Rudiger, Christensen, Azpilicueta might be leaving as well.
Oh, Rudiger, easy. Easy. Like
Yeah.
the one man we wanted to stay, and he's gone. Easily Rudiger. Now we had it in our heads. All right, Rudiger's gonna go. We're gonna get someone in to replace. We'll get Kunde. We'll get a left-sided centre back. It's all gonna be okay.
Mm.
Now it's starting to look like, okay, Rudiger's gone. Who's coming? Is anyone coming?
There's a
That's
shortage
worrying.
of centre backs as well. When you look at modern day football now, you want a sort of centre back to be strong. You want them to be
Yep.
physical. You want them to be athletic. You almost want the complete centre back. I think Rudiger, in certain moments, I think there's a case of in a back two. There could be a case where you think, right, not his best strength. In a back three, I think he's strong. He's mobile. He's quick.
Immense. Yeah.
He's immense. And I think for me, to bring someone else in that position, there's not many out there. I mean, and that's the thing. You're only linked with one. There's no other like second, third choice. Where I think 3 or 4 years ago there were 2 or 3 other choices available. Now they're not. Schlotterback's gone to Dortmund. I mean, there's so many kind of like defenders that are going to other teams to progress their careers and become better.
Yeah. I mean, at least for that left centre back role, because Kunde we know plays as a right centre back, right? So he's probably going to come in there, but as if he does, which we thought would be a done deal, but now it's like, okay, Koulibaly, who we were initially interested in, and now it seems like this summer it's actually feasible. Napoli are willing to let him go.
Yeah, at 31 now.
You
know what I mean? But yeah, true. Yeah,
it's weird. It's weird the way that we're doing things right now. We're just silent, and I don't like it.
No, and you know what it is? A lot of people think that as fans we get impatient or whatnot. But when you've had the season you've had, and it's not been the greatest seasons for Chelsea in terms of 2 domestic trophies that you should have been in the final, you lost them to. What I mean? Could have done better in the Premier League. I think fans now, you don't want to be losing and you don't want to be getting bantered, what I mean, on the streets. And as a fan, you want to be in there and aiming for the best. And to do that, you have to prepare. And if you don't prepare, you will fail. And clubs at this minute, I don't know if they're not just preparing, but at this minute, it's almost as if they don't want to get beat in a transfer window and kind of get mocked for a certain price. Do you think that clubs are just being wary of like transfer figures right at the minute?
To an extent, unless if you've got the capabilities, but for sure, there has to be. But at the same time, as you said, like we're in a climate now. It's not like before. We're in a climate now. If you don't actually do the business, you're going to get left behind.
Seriously,
you're getting left behind. You're seeing the way that Man City and Liverpool are moving, and they were already so far ahead. And you've seen what they've done now in the space of days. They've managed to do what they did. If you don't make those moves, and this is where I'm looking at it and going, you know what, there is still time, but we can't be wasting time. Like, there's still about 2 weeks, but they need to be through the door in 2 weeks. If they ain't, we're panicking. And
there's one thing having time, but there's also one thing wasting time as well, like you said.
Exactly. And it's got to be done correctly, especially for us. Like, unlike, I don't want to banter Arsenal or whatnot, but you see the way that they've moved over the years. Standards have slipped. They've kind of happy with where they're roaming about, hoping for the best. That's not the way it is at Chelsea. Like, we've been so used to success, and it's like we got to keep it there. We can't slip and just allow things to happen. And now it's a little bit cagey, especially with the new ownership. See what happens.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, you got a new ownership. City says Eunice, your fan base is going at Marina. I think Marina was given praise at one point, but now this transfers are not looking as great as it sounded. Is that her fault, or is that because of the way maybe they've been used? And I don't know. How do you judge Marina?
No, the structure at Chelsea isn't correct, right? At times it seems like it is, because she's so good at closing a deal. When it comes to negotiating, money-wise, she'll get you the best deal going, right? Aside from Lukaku, forget that for a second. We got scammed.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The biggest flop in Premier League history, do you reckon?
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily. 97.5 million for 7 touches against Brighton. Nah, man, mad.
Anyway, crazy.
There's that. But in terms of closing deals and getting things done on the money side, she's been immense. But on a sporting level, identifying correct targets, being able to guide the scouting department and get them to do their things. Our scouting department have been silent. They've been asleep. It's like they've been working on furlough and not actually doing their jobs. The whole thing, we need a director alongside her, maybe, which would be nice. But She can't do everything on her own, and everything below her isn't really attracting what we should be getting, and that's the problem. So I can understand everyone pointing the blame at Marina, to an extent. Yeah, she's been overseeing it all, but we need a proper football, like a director of football or sporting director. That would be mad. That would help us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Big up to Ranjam with the super chat. He goes, big up Saeed. Big up to everybody who's watching. Make sure you like the video, people, and make sure you subscribe to both channels, people. Eunice's title is in the link. I think for me, like I said to you, I just think Chelsea next season. I said it to Matisse on the Big Six. I think there's a part of me that thinks Chelsea will struggle next season because and the same thing with United, by the way. There's a lot to do in a short space of time, and the club haven't prepared that. You've got, I would say, you would need 2 centre backs. Is that fair to say? Maybe 2.
Yep,
2 centre backs. I would say Chelsea need a striker. Then you would need a right hand sided, winger kind of type of player. And then you would probably say you need a DM. So again, there's about 4 signings there I've just named and just listed there for you. Possibly some fullback areas that could need, because I remember Reece James got injured and Chilwell. Then all of a sudden it kind of changes as well. And with the Alonso situation going on as well, you don't know what's going to happen with that one. So you don't know, kind of like Chelsea need to do a lot, but at the same time, there's only certain names that have been thrown out there, like, and if you can't get Kunde over the line, is there other alternatives? Have you made other alternatives? Have you thought about any other alternatives? Or is it just like blank?
Nice blank. This is the problem. Like last season, we were after Kunde, and that was basically a done deal until when Sevilla decided to change their mind last minute. And we're like, okay, we'll wait till next year where you won't have to like stay at the fee. You'd have to bring the fee down. So now we're here. It's basically a done deal, but we just need to agree a fee. What are we waiting for? So yeah, in that aspect, we need to close. And some of the players that we do need to get in, there aren't much available. And this is where I'm getting worried. We wanted Chouameni, for example. He's gone. I started looking at, all right, maybe a Kamara. Aston Villa plucked him out.
I know.
Zuma. Spurs plucked him out. But we're getting left with no options. Striker. Well, Jesus apparently got offered to us. And we're not doing anything now. And now Arsenal apparently are putting a bid. So if he...
they put a bid now? Oh,
yeah,
that's a game changer.
It's a big game changer.
Ooh, that's a game changer. Yeah.
So if we lose Lukaku, who's coming in?
That is crazy. And you don't want to keep him, by the way. That's another thing. You
can't
want to keep
Lukaku.
No
way. He'll score.
Just because there's no other options. Someone's saying there about Christian and Kuku. Apparently, you've made a bid, but again,
he's going to cost risk. $100 million.
Yeah, again, it's like, will Chelsea go for that? Because we've already been scarred by £100 million player. It's another. I know it's different levels and whatnot, but he's not an out and out striker. He's a guy who plays across the front three. He's not an out and out centre forward. And at this minute, I'm not saying centre forwards are the key element because of the way people play and teams play now with a false 9 is like Havertz and whatnot. I think maybe that would suit Chelsea overall. But again, it's that negotiation. RB Leipzig are happy. They're not as if they want to, you kind of want to leave. So it's muddling that all together. And I just find it bonkers that Jesus now, if he goes to Arsenal over Chelsea, I would never ever assume that. Never would you think a player would go to Arsenal, especially with them being in the Europa League as well.
Exactly. It's normally unheard of. But again, if we're not actually making the move, if we're not actually trying to pursue, considering he's been offered to us, but Arsenal are on his case constantly, and we want you. Here it is. Here's the deal. You're going to go to where you're wanted. You're not going to go to somewhere that aren't really showing much interest in you.
Yeah,
so I can
that's a good
if
thing.
he agrees personal terms. I can completely understand that. So again, it goes back to our first point at the beginning. If there were loads of options, if the market was vast, fair enough. It's not.
It's not. You know what? It's true. It's actually not. It's the depth and the quality. I don't know about. Obviously, we're similar ages in right now, but for me, I miss the days of when there were so many players that you were kind of a pool of talent you were linked with. Now I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a bit of it's hit and miss.
Yeah, completely. And if you've got the money to do it, fair enough. But if you haven't got the money to do it, then you've got no chance. And even if you have the money, sometimes you just miss out. You know, back in the day, the transfer record back in the day was like 40 million.
40 million, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
so
crazy.
You could throw something on the line. Yeah, it's true. You could throw a bit more on the line and be like, yeah, you know what, we'll do that for 40 million. even though they could probably at that time, it's because at that time nobody would kind of go for that 70 million. They just teams didn't want to be known as that club that spent 70 million because Fernando Torres was 50. So it's not as if that was 2011. So it could have went to 80, 90 million, but teams just didn't want to do that. Now it's open, open season. We're like, yeah, you know what? We'll do that. And apparently today Arsenal have bought in, I don't know if he's a United target, but Fabio Vieira. I personally don't know who he is, but he's similar to Odegaard in that number 10 role, creative role. But again, strength in depth. Teams are going to want strength in depth. It's a long season, World Cup,
It's mad if Arsenal are Fabio Vieira. Like I'm not entirely sure, but Arsenal at a certain level, they're not going to be attracting flipping Mbappe, are they? So they're going to have to try and get what they can. And if they're making moves, they're making moves. Simple as that.
Yeah, no, simple as that. And I think for me, in this transfer window, and now what I've noticed, teams like Brighton now, if they're in contract, they won't be budged over. Leeds won't be budged over. Cucurella is apparently going to be going to City, but at the right price though. Same with Phillips now at the right price. 50 million for Phillips. I mean, oh my God. 50 million for Phillips. It's absolutely crazy, man. It's obscene. Yeah, I know, but it's just that kind of feeling of. But then you know what? Teams are going in for that kind of player because they know, right? We know what he's about. Yes, he's gonna have that English tax on him, but it's Prem proven as well, and that's the difference as well. People are going now for Prem proven players and working within the league now, rather than maybe going to a different league now or whatnot and getting players in. So it's just a sticky one, man. And for me, like I said to you, the transfer window has opened, Eunice. But again, teams shouldn't be looking at signings from January, especially if you've got a manager like Tuchel already there, and looking at them and accordingly and say, you know what, let's get our signings in.
Yeah, completely. Especially with us on our side, we heard just last week that Tuchel's been given the green light. He's going to be in control of transfers. All right, cool, nice one. That's exactly what we want. Now we're thinking, well, what's happening? Now, there's as I've said earlier on, there's a bit of uncertainty. We don't know if the whole Lukaku situation is taking up all the resources.
Yeah.
Or are we just lazy and we're not actually doing much and we think it's all going to be okay? Because if that's the case, then we're in for a rude awakening, man. It's going to be...
Bro. You know what Matisse is very, very low key on his expectation next season. But if you don't get the targets you want next season, like what's your expectations in terms of next season? Do you expect much to happen?
It's a worry. I'll be honest. If we don't get who we need, we could finish out the top 4 easily.
You know what? It could happen. Man, it genuinely could happen.
Tottenham. To be honest, I'm not even gonna completely underrate an Arsenal if they're getting in signings, or they're getting in a Jesus or a player like Vieira from Porto. You guys. I mean, you guys right now in terms of the transfer window and all that, it's not been great. But Ten Hag, we know, is coming in. There's a big revolution that's happening. He wants how many players out? Players have already left. How many players does he want in? Like, there's a whole thing that hasn't yet materialized, but it could. We're looking at that, man, and thinking, who knows? They might actually get players through the door. And if we're not active, we could finish 6th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's true. It's true. You know what I mean? And what you touched on United. Obviously, at the minute, it's looking bleak. At the minute, I'm just going to show you the United fixtures just so we can get a balanced viewpoint. But like I said, it's not looking great. We've got, I think it's Brighton at home at the start of the season. Again, I don't know what happens with that situation. Anything could happen. You've got Brentford away, Liverpool at home, Southampton away, Leicester away. For me, I think that's a very, very tricky and very kind of, awkward month for Man United. And what I've noticed as well, Eunice, the games are very, very thick and fast. You've got 20, 27, and then 30. I mean, that is crazy, man.
And then September the 3rd. Was that the 3rd?
I know, yeah. September the 3rd. Yeah, September the 3rd. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's true. That's busy. That
is busy, man. But what do you make of it?
The start it's okay. It could be worse. Brighton at home, fair enough. If they've not got Bissouma, they've not got Cucurella, you might actually get a win. Brentford, fair enough. You start acclimatizing, then you've got a big game against Liverpool. That's okay. what we have to acknowledge is you're going to play the big teams anyway. Like all the big teams have to play against the big team. But your October looks mad.
October. It's always October. You know, that's my birthday month, by the way. And I don't know why. Yeah. But bro, they do this on purpose, you know. My birthday, every single year is a bad year. I've never enjoyed my birthday for the last like 3 years, I think. You know, because every time they just make sure. No, honestly, man, they just make sure. Let me just guess who's on my birthday. Yeah, Chelsea away, innit? Yeah,
that's fair enough. Man. Nice one.
Yeah, man, you know what I mean? Like 3 points for Eunice right there. You know what I mean? On my birthday, obviously it could change, but you know, right now,
bro,
it's on my birthday,
we said we're gonna get 3 points against you easily, and we should have, but we drew 1-1. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You never know.
True. Yeah. Yeah, big up to you, man. Nick's birthday as well on October. Again, you know what I mean? Again, with these fixtures there, Eunice, you just never know. I can never predict 3 points there, 3 points there, because this Premier League is absolutely mad. You just don't know what's going on. Like, you don't know how teams will prepare, and it will be another bonkers season. But with that fixture list, at the start of the season, how are you kind of like checking it out? Like, how are you thinking, like, wise? Like, what's your kind of motive
for the start of the season?
Yeah, it sounds like because the games are so thick and fast, you're gonna have to need a bigger squad, aren't you? Then.
Oh yeah, completely. Again, more the reason why you need to have a squad that's ready. You know, the problem on our side is we've got so much deadwood in this squad who shouldn't be at Chelsea, and they're still there. Matisse will tell you as well. He thinks the same. We've got so many players that are there, and we're like, "What are you doing here?" You know, we've still got Bakayoko on our books. You know, we still got Baba Rahman on our books. Like Barkley is still in the squad. It doesn't make any sense. All these players need to go, and we need proper depth. How
many would you take out now? If you're looking at your squad right now, how many would need to leave for you? Like if you were to name them,
I honestly, I could come up with a whole team. So
that's crazy. That you know,
the ones that have already left have left. But you're looking at Marcos Alonso, for example. Some might appreciate it, but cool, he needs to go. Again, Barkley. We've got Bakayoko. We've got a Baba Rahman. We've got
Baba Rahman still there.
He's still on our books. Man was signed under Jose. He's still on our books.
He was highly rated at that time, man. I remember he was a good left back, innit?
Left back, yeah.
Oh my God, Baba Rahman.
Yeah,
that is
absolutely
bad.
Mental.
I thought Phil Jones was bad, but Baba Rahman. Oh my God!
You know,
and then Drinkwater as well. Apparently,
Drinkwater just left
a week. Oh,
he just left. He just left. So again, he just left. He should have left time ago. But man, it's outrageous. Yeah, those are names. Batshuayi is still on our books.
Wow. How many left? How many left have these guys got on their contracts? Like 2 years, 1 year? Is it like are they entering their final years? Is it? It's one of them kind of feelings,
it's a bit scattered. Yeah, it's a bit scattered.
Yeah. You know what, man? It just shows you, man. Like both clubs, I think Man United and Chelsea are very similar in terms of, you know, I don't think Liverpool have many deadwoods. I don't think Man City have many deadwoods.
They don't.
Tottenham, I think, have a few. Arsenal, I'm not sure because they end up using their deadwoods like El Neni and them. Like they end up using them because they're not bad.
Give them new contracts.
Yeah, they give them new contracts. Whereas I think with Chelsea and United, they're so similar in terms of we've got a lot of deadwood out, and we're trying. There's no resale value there. We've got Eric Bailly. Eric Bailly signed the deal, right? But is only worth about, I would say, 10, 15 million. If you play and you play for 20 odd games, Man United can say, right, he's worth 35 million, 30 million. But as a football club, you can't even sell him for more than, I would say, maximum 15 to 18 million. Maximum. I'm really it's so bad. And that's the problem what Chelsea and Man United have done. They've accumulated so many players. They're thinking, yeah, man, great squad. We're going to have this amazing squad. And the next thing you know, you've got a bloated squad. And then really, you can't really buy any players because you need to get rid of them. And that's the problem.
It's a lack of understanding, I think, in terms of who they're bringing in as managers. Because for us, and I'm sure like under Oli and prior to that, similarly, you guys were getting players in that fit to that certain manager, and then he's out the door. Rightfully so, probably out the door, like an Oli, for example. Correct. Or for us, a Lampard, correct at the end of the day. Sarri ended up leaving for us. You know, like we have players that are brought in for a manager, and then the manager bounces, and they're still lingering about. Whereas a Liverpool have brought in an elite manager, like a Klopp, and allowed him to just clear out whatever he needs to clear out, and then bring in what he needs to bring in, and then keep it. Same with Pep
Yeah.
at City. Look at. Do you remember when they brought Bravo? They bought
Oh
Bravo.
yeah.
1 season.
Yeah.
See you later.
See you later. Look. You know what? I like what I say. They can do that. We
They can
can
do
never
that.
do that. We can never do that, man. 1 season, yeah, bye bye. There's always this sentiment with our football clubs, and I think for me, like the funniest one for me is I don't know if you heard about Pereira's deal, but apparently Flamengo were meant to sign him, right? And then now they've kind of like gone, I don't know, bankrupt, or they kind of not have the money available to buy him. He's now coming back to Man United. So now we have
No
to find
way.
another club who will buy him in the region of 10 to 15 million, because I reckon he's not actually worth that. He's probably worth about 5 to 10. But Man United won't sell him less than that. That's why they wanted 15 million from Flamengo. So again, we've got him for pre-season, which I'm happy about, because he turns into the pre-season Pirlo in pre-season. I don't know if you have one player that in your pre-season that does well. We have got Pereira. I don't know who plays well for you in pre-season.
Yeah, for us,
Barkley?
probably Barkley. Yeah, probably Barkley.
Barkley?
He's last preseason, he looked like Zidane.
Bro,
And then season started, he just capitulated. So yeah.
it's crazy, man. You know what, man? It's actually jarring, man. What have you made of Man United, man? The assessment, man. What's your honest opinion on the situation now with Man United? What have they got to do now?
I mean, you know what? I think from an outside perspective, it looks like United are finally starting to do something right, at least.
Yeah.
I think you sacked Ollie way too late. I was waiting for that to happen for
Tell
time.
me about it, man. Tell me
for
about
time.
it. You see my videos, innit? You see my videos.
I've
It was
seen.
long.
Yeah,
the squeaky voice even came out. That's how much I was like, get him out, man.
Well, a lot of you were fuming, and rightfully so,
Yeah.
because you can just see when they're inept. But once that's eventually happened, Ten Hag was probably maybe alongside Zidane the only managers that you could realistically go for who are decent and good enough. Now it's about allowing Ten Hag to build what he needs to do. From the perspective, like from me looking outward in, he haven't signed anyone yet, but I truly think in terms of everyone that he's allowed to go, it seems like he's got a blueprint and he's got a plan. And there's players that are not fit that plan, and there's players that I think he wants to bring in who are going to come in and be a part of his plans. Now, who's that going to be? Again, are you going to take long like we are? Maybe.
Yeah, it's true.
I think Ten Hag might actually be a good thing for you. I don't think he's going to fix it straight away. Don't expect a good season, but you got to be patient. You can't keep on this cycle. It can't continue. So
I think it's almost as if that patient wears out. I'll be honest with you, the excitement of Ten Hag coming, it's kind of come out now. It's just like it's gone flat. Normally it's supposed to be excited for a season. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, because we thought Ralph Rangnick coming in alongside the new manager that comes in would be a perfect kind of almost like like a team. But then almost like it was too good to be true. And then now I'm just like, how can Ten Hag manage a group of guys who failed under so many other managers? And maybe they say we've restructured the football club and certain people have come in and they've got more roles. But, what did they always say? A leopard doesn't change its spots. And, things always are like that for a reason. And it doesn't change overnight. And for me, Ralph Rangnick, I thought, was the answer. Because at the end of the day, you got an interim manager who was never a manager. And then you brought him to the end of the season and said, right, you're going to do your job after your interim role. And then you say to him, well, we don't need you at the minute. It's not, I just don't understand it. Like, did it make sense to you?
No. The whole Ragnick thing had me baffled. Is initially when people were sold on the whole thing of, he was too cool and Klopp's teacher. Like, no, he wasn't. He wasn't. He probably conducted a few like UEFA Pro license classes whilst they were there, but he didn't teach them. But Ragnick coming in, and then he accepts the Austria job, and then you hear that he's going to do both at the same time, and then all of a sudden, now you know what? There isn't time for him to work both, so he's going to cut the United job. It's like, what's going on? Like, so I didn't agree with it in the first place.
And it makes me, honestly, I'm very, very honest person. For me, I wanted Conte in when that El Sacico, we had the El Sacico.
Yeah,
I wanted Conte, but it just makes me realize, like, at that point, if you wanted to get top four and you wanted the best possible signings possible right now, because at this minute we're struggling without Europa League. With Europa League, would it not make sense to go and get Conte at that time if you knew you were short term and you didn't really think long term? Because at that time, Ragnick coming in and helping with the restructure of football club, after was meant to be that answer. Not that I'm displeased with Ten Hag coming in, but if you wanted better signings and you wanted kind of people to come in, look what he's done now at Tottenham. They're getting signings that Conte, as himself and his kind of, his aura, he's been able to come in and bring in. So it didn't make sense for me. It didn't.
This is the thing with Conte, and this is why I'm shocked that Tottenham are actually backing him the way they are, because Conte is the sort of guy that goes, I need this player and that player and that player. Get them to me. If not, I'm kicking off. He's that sort of person. You bring it to him, he'll give you titles. You don't, he will kick off and take you to court.
It's true.
So I don't see United as that team that's going to be backing a Conte completely. Whoever is in charge at United, the Glazers, Woodward, and all them lot, they're not going to back. Chestnut. It's the same lot. So, but then again, I'm surprised Tottenham did or are at the moment. Maybe they've learned. Who knows? But you need a top manager. So yeah, I don't think Ten Hag's going to sort it straight away. The structure at United had me baffled, especially when you had Carrick coming as an interim to the interim who's going to be Rangnick, to the interim who is going to be the next manager who no one knew who was going to be.
At the start, of course. It's true. It's all a bit of a mess, and that's the problem. And then you give in the same guy who's now the director of football gave Ole Gunnar Solskjaer an extension, and and then they sacked him in October. You know what I mean? Did they think that there was going to be a massive improvement from the end of the season till now? Did they not think that, it was always going to be the same old kind of, dwindling form and, kind of like almost like, I don't know, they knew it was going to be like Marmite and people weren't going to like it. And some people were, but again, at the same time, didn't have a common ground. We do have that as a United Ten Hag right now. We do have a common ground. But again, it's all about backing the manager. And you guys have done that season out where, you might have managers that you might not disagree with, but it gets the job done because of the fact that Chelsea have been proactive,
Yeah, completely. So, and you have to be proactive to an extent, at least for you to keep a certain standard and to keep a level of success. If you let it slip too far for too long, you're going to have to play a lot of catch up. And this is where United are at the moment. Let's be real. United last time they won the league title 9 years ago. That's unheard of. Manchester United.
I was 20 when we won the last league title, and if basically, so I'm 30 next year in October. So if we don't win the title next year in October, it'd be 10 years without a trophy. That's a decade.
You can now understand how Arsenal went 18, or coming 19.
Yeah.
Can see it.
You know what? That's actually crazy, man, because it can happen. Arsenal were a club that were winning trophies. Obviously, Fergie was there and, whatnot. He was just a genius. But at the same time, 18 years ago, that is just absolutely madness, And it can be from 10 to 15. You guys are now without a Premier League title in
since Conte. So 2017. Yeah, five approaching 6. And the next season will be 6 years.
And be honest, when do you next see yourself winning a title? Be honest.
We thought like we have a chance last season that just went by. It's fine. But now, with the way that City and Liverpool are moving, it'd be difficult to try in the next even couple of years to compete. Like you need to revolutionize the squad. And
times have changed, man. Big up to Malcolm. Times have changed, man. You know what? I want to touch on that one before I do. William, big up to William. I'm not going to pronounce the other name because I'll probably, do a madness. All summer, Lukaku has said he's happy at Inter. Never seemed interested in a move, but Chelsea were the only club who would pay. We got what we deserve. I think that's a bit harsh. I think he cried as well. He come out and said, I want to come my boyhood club. We've seen it all, man. I think that's a bit harsh, but how do you respond to that?
I agree with you, to be honest. Look, when it happened, we were all gassed. Yeah, all of us were like, oh yeah, no, Lukaku, we've got a striker. Finally, he's come back home. He's not a boy anymore. He's a man. He's not 19. He's 29. It's a different Lukaku. We should have listened to some of the United fans who were like, he hasn't changed. He hasn't changed. Be careful. You guys are going to regret this. And we were like, nah, come on, man. He's going to smash it. And it was right. He lied. As far as I'm concerned, he full on lied. Everything that he done on the announcement at the time when he signed was a lie. After the interview come out, you could see exactly what his original intention was. So, now he's going back home. Good luck to him.
Yeah, good luck to him, man. Good luck to him. Like I said to you, you know what I mean? It's just one of them situations where you just want to forget it ever happened.
Yeah,
But I just want to go back to that title because I feel like for me, we're not on your level, but we're not far away from you in terms of. I think anybody, if you have a good season, can get into the top four. It's not for me. It's not a great achievement if you get top four. I think third means that you almost kind of had a good run and then you didn't. You kind of like dropped off. I think Chelsea were that. You had
we
a
were
good
that.
run, but you dropped off.
Yeah.
And then you've got second and first who are just animals. Animals. How can Chelsea get that consistency? Because I think we can't. Because we lost last year, I think, one fewer than we won. And I think we were one, I think we had 0 goal difference, I think it was, or one. I could be wrong.
One,
So
yeah.
we are a million miles away. We're conceding goals. But if you were to talk about Chelsea, how far are you away from catching Man City, Liverpool?
You know what's mad? This is what's frustrating. I don't think we're that far. I think it's honestly a case of Tuchel's proven what kind of manager he is, what he can do.
Yeah.
He won the Champions League in the way that he did in 6 months.
Yeah,
Like, that's
absolutely.
not
Yeah, of course.
straightforward. We started last season really well up until Chilwell and Reece James got injured, and then it just fell apart, and then all sorts of problems happened. So even to analyze him, it's quite difficult. When you're looking at Tuchel, you get him exactly what he wants, and the profile of players that he needs in his system. That's the key. We do that, especially along with a defensive midfielder to help unlock not just the attack, but to protect the defense. We do that. We can compete. And Tuchel will be that guy to take us in the same way that Klopp took Liverpool or Pep took City. I honestly believe that. We just need the correct signings, and we're not making any moves at the moment. So that's the frustrating thing, because I think if we did, we would compete. So,
yeah, you would. You know what? It's true, man. I think you would compete. I think Chelsea is that club that have always been sustainable in terms of, they've just been machines in it. You know what I mean? They pissed me off in the early 2000s when they came around. I think we could have got a few more titles. I genuinely think if it wasn't for Chelsea coming in that period and being strong as they were, I think we were in a transitional period. If I'm being honest with you, we were.
You were.
I think in that period, the 2009-10 season when you won it. You know what I mean? With that team, Malouda, and I think you were outstanding then. I think, you know what, it's one of those situations where Chelsea are a Premier League winning team. They have to, because end of the day, they have to get this, because Man City now have got more Premier League titles than you. I was giving Matisse a bit of, banter yesterday, but that really should not have happened because you were so far ahead in terms of where you were as a football club, and they've catched up in a sense.
Yep.
I know they've got the money to help them, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, but they've caught up to you. And it's like, it shouldn't happen. Same with us, because we were ahead of Liverpool and Man City, and they caught up to us.
Completely. And you're looking at not just the league success, but you're looking at them in Europe, and it's not been really good. But it just seems like they're hungry, and they're in the same place that we were in when we were dying to win that first Champions League trophy. And we were winning league titles, but we were desperate to win that European one. That we had never had a Champions League, and Roman was ruthless. Once we got it, it kind of dipped a little bit. I think City are on that process of they're so determined, like we have to get a Champions League, that it just makes them strong for the Premier League automatically. They're doing everything they can. I mean, hence now they got Haaland. So I honestly look at it, and they are ruthless right now. And Chelsea need to pattern up, start getting back onto that wavelength.
And they're not. You know what the worst thing about it is, Ulyss, man, and the sad thing for us is they're not stopping. They're not. It's not as if they're kind of. I think that was a problem with maybe Chelsea and Man United when we had the success we had. Maybe we stopped a little bit. Maybe we kind of took the foot off the gas. I think the club thought, what, we've got credit in our bank, and teams wouldn't come back. I genuinely think for me though, when you look at it, it's like now they're just taking it to another level. Nunes. I mean, people don't like Nunes. It's not by their cup of tea, but again. Nunes, Haaland, they've got strikers. Our striker's 38. Like, he's not going to produce the magic he is. Lukaku's leaving. Arsenal don't have an out-and-out striker. That could be the difference. But the problem is, there's no pull of strikers anymore. I mean, if you were to get a striker out there right now, who would you want? If you were to get a striker right now that you think, right, we're going to get guaranteed goals, who would it be?
Well, Benzema. Benzema.
Yeah.
Basically, I think the authentic number 9, the traditional number 9 is phasing away. At least at the top level, I think it's starting to phase away. So you're right in terms of using a front three. or using a two together is becoming a lot more common than just focusing on that target man. Target man's us beginning to disappear. So
they are.
Right now,
system now, isn't it? System now. Yeah.
That's it. I mean, Lewandowski's coming to the end sooner or later. He's definitely going to be gone.
I don't know
Harry
why
Kane is another
Chelsea
one.
haven't gone. I genuinely don't know why Chelsea haven't gone for Lewandowski. He's 33. I think he could give you 2 more years. And you know what? 50 odd million. I know it's a lot for a striker of his age, but would you not be tempted by Lewandowski? You know he guaranteed goals.
Personally, I would 100%. But when you look into the detail, you can see he wants Barca. Barca want him. It's so advanced that Chelsea can't really have a say in it. But again, it goes back to what's going to happen today with this whole Barca situation. If it goes their way from tomorrow, you could start hearing madness happening at Barca. Player in, player in, player in, player in.
We could lose players. We might lose players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you might not get De Jong.
Oh man, you know what, man? I think for me, you know how much I'm relying on De Jong transfer this summer. Like, if we don't get him next season, I'm just forgetting next season it even happens, because we need a midfielder to replace Paul Pogba and also give us some creativity. Because I am not seeing McFred next season. I'm sorry, I cannot. I genuinely can't do it again. Eunice, it scarred me. These two guys here together, Fred on his own, I can tolerate, but McTominay, no. I don't want to see him anywhere near that midfield. If you might have that one player where you just think, get him out. Like, I can't stand him. Mine is McTominay. Not that I dislike him as a person, but him as a footballer, oh my God, he is terrible. He never wants to receive the ball on the half turn. I've watched him at Old Trafford with my own eyes. I'm on the East Stand, right? I'm on the East Stand.
Yeah.
And I see him every single time. I watch him. You know how this season has been very, very bad for United. So what I do is I forget about the teams playing. I just watch players. I've watched Rashford closely. I've watched Shaw closely. And I've watched Maguire closely. And I've watched McTominay closely. But in particular, McTominay's been the one I've been. You know when you say McTominay cam? I've been on McTominay cam. And you know what he does, yeah? He hides behind midfielders. So basically, if the ball is coming to Maguire, he's trying to look for a person to give the ball to and get the ball on a half turn and move across. McTominay's hiding. And he's literally like, I don't want to be there. No, don't give me the ball. Don't give me the ball. And then what he does is he passes the ball sideways all the time. There's never ever a forward pass. And for me, if our football club want to change the culture, you know when you have that one person that changes the culture of how you play, who would you say? Because I think De Jong could be that person. Who in your team changed the way? I think Fabregas, isn't it? Fabregas when he came.
That was 100%. Fabregas when he came in changed everything, especially at least to unlock those threads that just going straight to Diego Costa. Not just Costa, but anyone that was attacking, even from the flanks. Fabregas had an eye for everything. And yeah, we need someone like that, man. We do need someone like that. Fabregas was always such a forward thinker. But that separates the greats from even the good midfielders, you know, the ones that are able to analyze and know what they're going to do before they receive a ball, you know, and execute it. I mean, yeah, man, we have that problem as well with
words.
Sideways vocab coming out, sideways passing, going backwards, killing the action. I hate it. I hate that. But yeah, man. I mean, yeah, Fabregas assist for sure.
For me, I think that might be the assist, one of the best assists I've ever seen in the Premier League era. If you actually look at it, like easily that, and probably the Bergkamp one, I think I might have seen when I was young. But listen, boy, this one is crazy. Vieira confirmed, I get it. It just depends on the well, it's crazy. Our season is relying on Barcelona, like literally, because we want De Jong, and you guys want 2 players from there. Because obviously, if Koundé go into there.
Well, exactly. Yeah, we want Koundé. We want to let Alonso go there. That way, he's not lingering about. Like, there's all sorts. So, both you and me right now, instead of concentrating on our own clubs, we're having to keep up to date on this mad vote that's happening at Barcelona that I would normally not pay attention to.
Now.
We're turning into politicians, bruv. Look, this is what our clubs are doing, man.
You know what, man? But again, you know what it is, though? The club is doing this on purpose because, again, it just generates kind of social media traction. It makes, Chelsea and Man United the topic of the town. It's almost as if, like, they're being stushed, basically. They just want us to kind of be so worried and then later on be like, you know what? My club ended up doing it, man. My club was brilliant. Look what we've done now. They took their reason. They took it. you know, they were right to do that. And you know what? That's all it is, man. Genuinely, that's all it is. But we will see, man. We will see. But when the time, I think it's 6 o'clock. So yeah, man, watch out for it, guys, man. 6 o'clock, people. That will be the situation. But again, it's just a case of now just waiting and see. Wait and see. I call FC. I don't know what you guys call it. Have you got a particular word you call
it? We got tons of names. Monitoring FC.
Yeah, we got that
FC.
Have we got Seduced FC? We got Seduced FC.
You got oh, we ain't got Seduced. No, we ain't got Seduced.
Yeah.
No, we just watch. We don't try and flirt. We just watch.
Yeah, just watch FC. You know what I mean? Just man. But you know what it is though? It's these accounts that create them words. I don't even think it's United. It's accounts. It's the accounts people. Watch out for them accounts. But listen, we're gonna wrap it up here, man. Eunice, it's been a pleasure, man. I appreciate you coming on. Where can the people find you and what are you up to lately?
Thank you very much, man. Pleasure being on. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, you can catch me Eunice Talks Football, as it says right here. For all the latest, my opinions on all the latest. I've got a video coming out this evening after this in terms of the Cucurella saga at Man City, Jesus Arsenal, what it means for Chelsea, what are Chelsea going to do? Is it panic time? Like, yeah, I'm going to give my thoughts on that. That's coming out later today. And every day I give my thoughts. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Make sure you check it out, people. The link is in the title. All you got to do is hit the link in the title, subscribe to it. And for me, like I said, man, just keep supporting the channel. Please smash a like on the video. We literally had like 700 live throughout. So please, guys, if you could get at least half of the likes, that would be brilliant. So make sure you do that. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll be back tomorrow for the debate show. Other than that, people, enjoy the rest of your evening. And we're out. Take care.